going to play a challenging game with you, Steve. The game is called Slow Burn. And for our avid listeners that all have the tattoo, the background to the game is we started off this podcast talking about leadership and talking about how in leadership, a lot of challenging things can feel like paradoxes, that they may have two things that both need attention. Um, but we can't always give them both attention. So what do? This is where leaders have to step up and say, hey, we need a leverage up here or leverage down here. So slow burn stems from that. What we're going to do, Steve, is we're going to give you two maybe opposing ideas, maybe they're not, and you have to choose which one to use more important. Both is not a correct answer. And then briefly tell us why. It was supposed to be rapid fire. It ends up, I'm thinking we're going to go down some bunny holes, rabbit trails, whatever you want to call them here, and kind of unpack that a little bit. Yeah, Brad, you can meditate on that for a while. So I'm going to give you two things. The easy ones would be like, who is the better football team, the Denver Broncos or the Dallas Cowboys? That's an easy one. All right, that would be an example of you got to choose one. Tell us why. This is going to be different, and it's going to get harder as we go. Does that make sense?
I think I'm following.
Okay, the only other thing you have to know about the game is there's a point system that I keep in my own head, and I won't tell you what it is. There's just winners and losers, and I have the scoreboard. All right, So we'll try this off. Slow burn number one. I wish we just need a little smooth jazz music. Maybe they can put that in here because I like the idea. All right, what is more important in leadership, Steve? If you had to choose one, all right, what's more important, being or doing? The way I'm being or what I am doing?
Doing. Because at the end of the day, leadership in business is about outcomes and results, and being's a little bit too philosophical, and we got to get the tasks done. So doing is what's important. It's my job as a leader to make sure that we do what we need to meet the objectives that we've set.
Jeez, Steve just fired that off, Brad. I mean, a lot of people sit there for a minute. Steve's got his answer. He's ready to go. All right. Doing, because we need to accomplish, we got to get results. I like the answer, Steve. I'm going to assess 3.73 points for that particular question. Number two. All right. People or tasks?
People. Without, again, about results and outcomes, tasks are meaningless outside of the people that are doing them. So people have to do the right task, but between the two, since we're going to be polemic, we'll go with people. I wanted to put that out there so you could put that at the bottom, polemic, and you can put, I want some infographics. All right.
Yeah, definitely. We may have you back to just talk about that.
During our devotions, Rebecca said, "Say polemic on the bot." It's like my brother's a preacher.
Sure.
I
Okay.
give him weird words to say in the sermon, and if he does, he gets $50.
Yeah, like the word rigmarole. See if he can get that into his next sermon. Just say,
Okay, wait a second, rigmarole.
yeah, rigmarole. Write that down.
I knew you two were going to be a problem, guys.
This is what the people want. They want Steve uncut. We're giving him Steve uncut. All right, moving on. Steve, you've done well so far. I like it because most people that have chosen doing would have probably also chosen tasks, but you chose doing and people. This is different and new. I like it. We're going to continue. All right, relationships or results?
We're talking leadership and business results.
Okay. All right, results because
at the end of the day, that's how we measure if we've met our objectives, if we're improving. And again, they're related, but if I have to choose which is the rules of the game, I'm going to go with results. The relationships, the results are most important, and the relationships have to be there for me to get the ultimate result. So, but I'll go with results.
4.3. I like it. Let me ask you a caveat.
You add 4.3, or is that my total sum score?
Steve, that is a great question that I can't give you the answer for at the moment. The game has rules. Nobody knows the rules. We just keep assessing points.
Okay.
Does that change if it's a nonprofit and it's not a business, or if it's something else? Does that change for you, or does it stay results over relationships? Is that contextual?
Yes. Wow. I didn't know I was going to have to think. So your 501(c), your nonprofits are full of a volunteer army. So that's a different population, and I think it just I think it makes it more important. I think you still got to have results. There's still a vision and a mission, but the relationships will follow if the results are there. So I'm going to stick with it. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right. We are cruising. Way to go. And last one for me, and then I'm going to kick it to Brad. You're not done, Steve. You're not done. By the way, I assessed an extra half a point there on that bonus question because that's not in there. Not everybody gets a bonus question. What's more important, values or vision?
Values.
Values because.
Well, vision in a statement is what do I set out to do? What I want to accomplish. I'll give a bonus. Mission is how we're going to get it done. So when I walk into a boardroom and I see this C.S. Lewis esque thing on the wall that nobody, including the CEO, can read or remember, they don't have a clue because I always ask. I just like a one liner that says, "What's my vision? What am I going to do? And my mission is how am I going to get it done?" Which brings me back to the topic. The values drive it. Values drive it all. So my values are not, to me, values are non-negotiable. Beliefs are negotiable. Uh, Values aren't. It's a part of culture that's not. And so, uh, depending on who you are and what the topic is, values we don't debate. They just are.
We're unfolding Steve here. This is great. This is great. Brad, I'm kicking it to you.
This is the bio underneath the bio. These answers are how Steve's bio was built and formulated, right? And so that's why, I love us getting to look into the life of a leader like this. Goodness or greatness, Dr. Wilkie? Give us a rundown there.
Yeah. Well, good to great that said that good is the enemy of great. So I got to go with great. That's the goal, right? I was actually with a pastor of a very large church who will remain nameless, who says, "We don't try to be great, we just want to be good." And it was everything I could to be pastoral in my response, which was nothing because Rebecca was with me. We were doing an interview, and I was just like, "It just is not in my world." Or I did tell my sons raising them, you do not have to be the best. You won't be, but you better give your best. So, sometimes good is that's, I had to outwork everybody because I don't have the IQ or the pedigree that Brad does. But, you know, um, I think greatness should be the goal. And I think that's what God has for me. I'm great because of him and he wants me to be like him. So greatness is in play and good's not quite enough.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Don't worry about Taylor's scoring methodology.
Oh,
Okay, it's my
Steve,
turn.
I
It's
haven't cleared
my
only
five yet.
turn.
I haven't cleared five. I'm still sub five.
only no, it could be cumulative points. You don't know.
Well,
That could have been
Steve,
assessed per point,
you're
per
not
per
always going
question.
to be the best, and that's
Steve,
just
what I want you to do is not take anything Brad says for truth and only listen to what I have to say.
All right.
That will benefit you in your life. Go for it, Brad. Continue.
culture or productivity.
Culture.
Tell us why.
Uh, of the three things that make up an organization are what we refer to as corporate family. Culture is one of the big three. Productivity is a very important thing, but again, it follows the goodness or the greatness of the culture. So, culture, which again, for an infographic, culture, values, beliefs, actions, and behavior patterns. It's a booger word. It's one of those things we could talk about. We could put the sharpest academics in a room, throw in the best food for a year, and they'd all three come out with different definitions. I'm a simple guy. Culture is three things. Values is one of them, and the values will, at the end of the day, drive the productivity.
Very insightful. Performance or recovery. Recovery can also be understood as rest.
I'm thinking of our chapter on generational leadership, and no boomer would ever ask that question because there's only one thing that matters. And I'm going to stay true to the final year of us baby boomers and rest. There's no rest for the wicked and the righteous. We don't need any. I don't know who said that, but I know I'm. Yeah, the rest is secondary, I think, but very important. We do have curricula on life balance, and so that's obviously being resilient. And Psalms 46:10, another infographic: "Be still and know that I am God." There's a time to rest. Jesus took to the whether you're a faith person or not. Historically, I believe he was God. He took to the wilderness. He disappeared. People are like, where'd he go? He was just here, and he hid out. He was not afraid to leave the ministry, and more people to be healed, more people to be nurtured, more people to be led, more people to be blah blah blah. But he still found time with his father. So easy answer on that one.
Sales or profits? And I've heard you speak to this before, so I'm excited. I'm excited to hear you. Well, you tell us what you think.
I'm like Chuck Swindoll, who was asked a question about his latest book. He goes, "Oh, I said that." He goes, "No, you don't understand. I can change my decision and my opinions from day to day. So yeah, I don't believe that anymore." And when Papa Chuck says it, you got to go with it. Uh, you don't have any profit without sales, so I'm going with sales. You can spend your money any way you want, but without a sale, you have nothing. So I'm going to go with sales.
Mm,
Oh, I love that. I love that.
for
It's good.
today, because tomorrow it might be different, right?
Every day.
Okay, last one, and this one, it feels easy when you hear it, but when you think about it, becomes one of the tougher ones. Tradition or innovation?
Innovation.
Ooh, that was quick. That
Uh,
was right. That was right on the forefront of the mind. There was not even, you know, let it
boy,
rip. Why is that?
don't
Give it
ask
to
me.
us.
On a personal level, innovation. For the first time in my life, post COVID, I'm challenged. I got challenged. I'm challenged. It it was kind of easy for me, and in that it was hard work. I could outwork people, but the innovation, I got caught, and so that's a personal one. Tradition. Oh boy, as a recovering Baptist, you know, uh, it's the traditions of men have dictated so much of my behavior until I figured out it's being renewed inside. The whole ethic, the whole Christian ethic is from the inside out, right? It's you're renewed, you're transformed. Romans 12, or whatever. It's being renewed, and the whole tradition thing has really it's tripped people up, and me included. It took a lot of counseling, a lot of mentoring to get through that one. So I'm probably adding a lot more to that word than most people, but yeah, tradition is secondary to me in that polemic choice.
Mm, all right.
Rebecca will
Beautiful.
be happy. I got it in
Got it
twice.
in there again. Yeah,
Steve,
look at
that was
that.
excellent. You get extra points for using
Bing,
polemic twice.
bing. Yeah, total score 374.3, Steve. Way to go. You are on the leaderboard somewhere. We can't
How
tell
does
you
that
where.
compare to the other guests, though? I mean, it's
You
all
know, Steve,
relative.
yeah, I'd love to tell you, but I can't. I'd love to tell you, but I can't. We're just going to leave it at that. It does compare. It does
All
compare,
right,
Steve. We
all
can
right.
say that.